Professed values and prevailing social mores and institutions have yet to catch up to this emerging multifarious reality. The consequences of this discrepancy between what we believe or are led to believe and between reality, the consequences are disastrous. About 40 to 50% of all first-time marriages end in divorce, and the percentage is much higher for second or third attempts at connubial bliss. Open communication about one's sexual needs, fantasies and desires is tantamount to self-ruination, as the other partner is likely to reflexively initiate a divorce. Dishonesty and cheating, therefore, are definitely the rational choices in such an unforgiving and punitive environment. Indeed, most surviving marriages have little to do with love or romance. They have more to do with perpetuating the partner's convenience, their access to commonly owned assets and future streams of income, and the welfare of third parties, most notably their children. Erstwhile sexual exclusivity often degenerates in marriage into celibacy or abstinence on the one hand, or into parallel lives with multiple sexual and emotional partners on the other hand. But is infidelity the threat that it is made out to be? One-night stands for both genders are usually opportunistic and passing. Extra-pair affairs are self-limiting, as emotional involvement and sexual attraction wane inevitably over time. Infidelity is therefore much less of a threat to the longevity of a dedicated couple than it is made out to be. Most of the damage is usually caused by culturally conditioned, albeit deeply and traumatically felt, reactions to conduct that is almost universally decried as deceitful, dishonest, and in breach of vows and promises. But the roots of the crumbling alliance between men and women go much deeper and further in time. Long before divorce, men and women grew into two disparate, incompatible, and warring subspecies. Traditionalist, conservative, and religious societies put in place behavioral safeguards against the inevitable wrenching torsion that monogamy entailed. So, in these societies there's no premarital sex, and virginity is demanded, no multiple intimate partners, no cohabitation prior to tying the knot, no mobility or equal rights for women, and no mixing of the genders. We now know that each of these habits does indeed increase the chances for an ultimate divorce. As Jonathan Franzen elucidated in his literary masterpieces, it boils down to a choice between personal freedoms and the stability of the family. The former decisively preclude the latter. If people have premarital sex, if they have multiple intimate partners, if they cohabit prior to tying the knot, if they are mobile and the women have equal rights and enter the workforce, if there's a mixing of genders, the rates of divorce are bound to go higher and higher inexorably. During the 17th, 18th, and 19th century, discrete extramarital affairs were an institution of marriage. Sexual gratification and emotional intimacy were outsourced, while other domestic functions were shared in a partnership. The Industrial Revolution, the Victorian Age, the backlash of the sexual revolution in the 1960s, belligerent feminism, and the advent of socially atomizing and gender equalizing transportation, information processing, and telecommunication technologies, all these led inexorably to the hollowing out of family and hearth. In a civilization centered on brain power, men have lost the relative edge that brawn used to provide them with. Monogamy is increasingly considered as past its expiry date, a historical aberration that reflects the economic and political reality